Yo, how's it going everyone? It's me, Arctic. Today's video we're going to be going over a complete weapons guide for Ayaka. Now Ayaka will be releasing in update 1.7 on one of the banners, and this is a pretty hype character. So let's go over some great weapon options for DPS Ayaka. So first we're going to start off with the best options for Ayaka, the ones that really stand out, and then we're going to go over some other alternatives that can possibly work as well. So starting off with the 4 stars. But if you guys wouldn't mind, I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. We're on our way pretty good. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Blackcliff Longsword is probably going to be a very go-to for DPS Ayaka. This is going to give you a lot of crit damage, a lot of base attack. So you're basically going to stack this on top of the crit damage that you're already getting from Ayaka, and it's going to work very, very good to round out your crit damage on your Ayaka. Now you also get attack increase based on the amount of enemies you defeat, and you can get up to 3 stacks of this, so this factors in very good on Ayaka. Good option for Ayaka is going to be the Black Sword. This is the one that you can get from the Battle Pass. Now you're going to get some crit rate substat on this, so that's 27% crit rate, so I would recommend running a crit damage headpiece with this. And so the passive on this is going to be very good for Ayaka since most of her damage is going to be coming from normal and charged attacks. So it increases the damage dealt by normal and charged attacks by 20% at R1, and this goes all the way up to normal and charged attack increase by 40% at R5. Finally, it also generates 60% of attack as HP when normal and charged attacks score critical hits. It can occur every 5 seconds. So basically what you're doing with this is you're self-sustain healing, so you don't necessarily have to use a healer on your team just for Ayaka. You can self-sustain heal with this, and you're also getting some good normal and charged attack damage, along with some crit rate. So this is a very good weapon for Ayaka. Another 4-star to keep in mind is also going to be the Flute. Now this one is a little bit more free to play, it's a little bit easier to get from the gacha system. But this is going to give you normal and charged attacks, give you harmonic stacks. Once you get to 5 stacks, it does a 100% attack damage to surrounding opponents. And yeah, so it's going to be pretty decent. It comes with some base attack at 510, and you get some attack percent up to 41%. Now this one isn't necessarily the best, however it is usable. If you want to go with a little bit of a different playstyle and use different characters on your team, like Pyro or Electro characters, you can use the Lion's Roar if you're going for like a Melt Ayaka with her E, because this increases the damage against opponents affected by Pyro or Electro by 20%. So this is overall very good, and it's literally got the exact same stats as the Flute. Another 4-star to keep in mind is going to be the Festering Desire. Now what you're doing is you're trading off your auto attack damage for elemental skill damage, but since her elemental skill does a decent amount of damage, this could be kind of good. It increases your elemental skill damage by 16%, your elemental skill crit rate by 6%, so you're going to get a lot more elemental skill damage, and this at R5 goes to 32% and 12% crit rate on your E spell. Now you're also getting energy recharge, which is going to be nice. So if you're using Ayaka as more of a supplementary kind of swap-in damage dealer, this is going to be better than some of the other options that are going to just be for straight-up DPS. To the 5-star weapons, we're going to go cover these real quick, and also we're going to cover the weapons that are upcoming at the end. So Aquila Favonia isn't really going to be a good option for Ayaka just because it has physical damage, and you don't want physical damage since Ayaka has cryo infusion on the auto attacks. However, this is still a pretty good option. I would use this over like some other options like the Flute maybe, or if you don't have any other better swords, this is still an okay option just because it has a high base attack, and when you're not in your cryo infusion, you're still going to get some extra auto attack damage. It also increases your attack by 20% and gives you a ability that like triggers an attack and also a health regen whenever you get hit. Skyward Blade is probably going to be one of the better weapons for Ayaka overall. Now this one comes with energy recharge, it comes with a 608 base attack, so you're going to get your burst uptime quite a bit. You're going to have your burst up a lot. This also increases your crit rate by 4%, so that's good. You can boost out your crit rate a little bit. And also Sky Piercing Might upon using your elemental burst. It increases your movement speed by 10%, so you can run around a little bit faster. Increases your attack speed by 10%, which is going to be very good on Ayaka because you're going to be dealing lots of small attacks. And that also factors into the second part of this, where normal and charged attacks deal an additional damage proc of 20% of attack. So that's going to be pretty good, and that lasts for 12 seconds. So if you keep your burst uptime up pretty good, you're gonna be able to use this quite a bit. And the 20% extra of attack is going to be very good on the auto attacks. The Shaper I'd say is probably going to be a very good option if you're using like a shield character like Zhongli or Diona as a support character. And so this increases your shield strength by 20%, so you're going to be a little bit more tanky. Scoring hits on opponent increases your attack by 4%, and if you're affected by a shield, it's doubled, so it's like instead of 4%, it's 8%, and you get 5 stacks of that. This also comes with a 6 of 8 base attack and attack percent on its main stat, so you're going to get a lot of attack off of this weapon, and also Ayaka has a high base attack anyway. So overall, this one's going to be probably one of the better 5-star options for Ayaka. Jade Cutter is going to be probably the other competitor for the best weapon for Ayaka, and the reason behind this is because you can run pretty much all crit damage. Since most of your crit rate is being covered by this, it gives you 44% crit rate. You do have a little bit lower base attack for a 5-star weapon, but it's going to be still pretty good. And also, it increases your HP by 20% and gives you an attack bonus based on your HP. One of the weapons that's going to be upcoming in update 1.7 is going to be this sword, and it looks Electro themed, but it doesn't necessarily pertain to just Electro characters. And we'll go over this right now. Okay, so in terms of the sword's base attack, it has 674 base attack, which is pretty high, and it comes with crit damage as its substat, so this is going to be a very, very good weapon. It's going to have lots of crit damage. It's going to be very, very good for Ayaka. I'll scroll down here to its actual passive that's been rumored. And so its passive is going to be you gain 12 elemental damage bonus based on that. So already that's going to be 12% more damage on pretty much all your auto attacks, all your burst, all your elemental skill for your Ayaka. And it gives you stacks of Mist Cutting Toemon up to a maximum of 3 stacks. I'm going to further increase your elemental damage of the same element as the character. And so normal attacks that deal elemental damage, stack these, and those stack last 5 seconds. Elemental burst stacks last to 10 seconds. Not having full energy, this stack goes away when the energy is full. It means by not having a full level of energy, the stack goes away when the energy is full. What that I think means is that you lose the damage bonus when you have a full elemental burst. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to cast your burst as often as possible. And each of these stacks has its own duration. Now when it says a maximum of 3 stacks, this might actually be an additional like 12% per stack that you have, and that could be extremely good. But other than that, that's basically it for all the Ayaka weapons. Let me know down in the comment section which weapon you're choosing, which weapons you have available, that kind of stuff. But anyway, it's been me, Arctic. I'll see you next time. Farewell.